Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my week 16 game picks. Last week, I had easily my worst week to date. I went a freaking horrible 8-8. Absolutely disgusting.
Disappointed!
My best pick was probably taking Buffalo to beat New England. And yes, I know it was New England was up 21-0 at one point, and I got really worried, except Buffalo came roaring back. They were able to come out with the win there, split the season series, and now they have a real chance of taking the division. This week's games will obviously be a huge factor in that. My worst pick was probably taking the Cowboys to actually beat the Vikings. I should have known better, but I'm certainly not sad I was wrong about that. No, siree. This week we have quite a few exciting games on our slate. I'm gonna not try to waste any time with it. Let's get right into it. As always, last week I went a terrible 8-8, which will bring my season total to 144-79.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough!
I think I've officially given up on trying to get a perfect week, especially this season. It just seems absolutely impossible. And for any of you that have gotten perfect weeks, let's face it, you got luck. All right, our first game of week 16, you have probably the biggest game of the week on Thursday Night Football. You have the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks, both 11-3. And if you ask me, I think the winner of this game on Thursday night will be the #1 seed. Now, even though the Seahawks just barely beat the Colts last week with an old man Rivers coming off the bench of 3 days practice and not playing for 5 years, but last time these two played, pretty sure Darnold had 4 interceptions and they only lost by 2 or 3. The Los Angeles Rams are most likely going to be without Davante Adams, their top touchdown scorer. Seattle is at home in this one. We all know how tough it is to play in Seattle. That on top of no Davante Adams, I think that the Seahawks will get the win here and split the series and probably win the #1 seed off of that win. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles going into Washington to play the Commanders. Now, the Eagles just got a huge blowout win versus the Raiders, and I know, it's just the Raiders. But honestly, I don't give a shit. It was the exact type of game we needed, especially for our offense. Our defense absolutely balled out once again, not even allowing 100 total yards. As for the Commanders, they have officially shut down Jaden Daniels for the rest of the season, something they should have done before he re-injured his elbow. So Mariota will start once again, and I do expect this to be a lot closer of a game than the Raiders game that we just played. Still, I think we're going to have a whole lot of confidence coming into this game. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. After that, we have the Green Bay Packers heading to Chicago. The Packers with a brutal loss against Denver, but even worse than that, the loss of Micah Parsons for the rest of the season with the torn ACL. The Bears coming off a huge win against the Cleveland Browns. Now, even if Green Bay did have Parsons for this game, I think I was still going to lead towards Chicago. But now without Parsons, absolutely, I'm taking Chicago to split the season series and take the big lead on the division. Another huge divisional game to determine the leader of set division. We have the Tampa Bay Bucks going into Carolina to play the Panthers. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week had a 14-point lead into the fourth quarter and somehow was able to absolutely choke and blow that win. The Panthers, on the other side, they were able to take the division lead against the Saints. However, they weren't able to do it as the Saints were able to drive down the field and kick a game-winning field goal. I do expect another week back of Mike Evans, another week for this Tampa Bay team to get healthy. Until I can see it, I do not believe in the Carolina Panthers to get away with the win or even just to win in the division. Let's face it, how many of you actually trust the Panthers?
Not me.
So in that case, give me Tampa Bay to win here. I don't think they're going to blow it 2 weeks in a row. Give me Tampa. I think they get the win. Next up, we have Buffalo Bills versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Buffalo Bills, as I said before, just had a huge comeback win versus the Patriots, keeping their division title hopes alive. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns just had a huge loss to the Bears, and honestly, it's the Cleveland Browns. Let's face it, they're probably not going to win many more, if any more games this season. I can see them being in the top 3 draft pick, especially with that motivation of possibly getting the division lead after this week. Give me Buffalo to win easily. In fact, give me this as my double-digit win of the week. After that, we have the Los Angeles Chargers going into Dallas to play the Cowboys. The Chargers still finding ways to win, even with one-handed Justin Herbert. Gotta respect the hell out of that. Their defense has been playing a lot better as the year goes by. And even though Herbert and the Chargers are getting a lot of wins with one, even if he has one hand, Herbert has not been putting up statistically great numbers, but it doesn't seem to matter. The Cowboys, with exactly 1% chance still to make the playoffs, they would have to win out while the Eagles lose out. Let's face it, that is not going to happen. The Eagles are going to, at the very least, win one of those games versus Washington. As for the Buffalo game, I don't see them getting a win in Buffalo. However, you never know. None of that will matter, though, if Dallas loses a game, and I totally expect them to lose this game here. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers. All right, we have the New York Jets versus my favorite scrappy team in the New Orleans Saints. The Saints on a 2-game win streak right now, and I expect that streak to continue. They're going to go 3-0 in their last 3 weeks, and they're going to keep the Jets also for that top 3 selection pick in the draft. You got to like what you see from Kellen Moore and that offense, considering they've gone through Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. Shuck has been playing a lot better than expected. I'll give him that. However, let's face it, he's no franchise quarterback, at least from what I see now. Granted, you know, Kamara's been injured most of the season. Give me the Saints to win here, 3 in a row. The Minnesota Vikings versus the New York Giants. I expected the Giants to get a win last week versus the Commanders. However, I was extremely disappointed. After seeing that loss, I don't know how I can pick them to win again this season. The Vikings, on the other hand, have been playing a lot better, especially JJ McCarthy. The last 2 games, he's been having absolutely amazing games. Give me the Vikings to win here. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tennessee Titans. And yes, I know I did not want to see the Chiefs make the playoffs, and my wish was granted. However, nobody wants to see a star player get injured with their ACL tear. I feel for the Chiefs fans. I think Mahomes will come back stronger than ever. Let's face it, he is Patrick Mahomes, no matter how much I want to hate on him. So Gardner Minshew will be the Kansas City Chiefs starter from the rest of the season. I think losing that game and any chance of playoffs hopes alongside losing Patrick Mahomes, I think this Chiefs team is just going to be absolutely depleted with almost 0 to no motivation. So give me this as my upset of the week. I'm actually going to pick the Titans, who looked a lot better versus the 49ers last week. So yeah, give me the Titans, upset of the week. Last of the 1 p.m. games, we have the Bengals going into Miami to play the Dolphins. Tua has been officially benched today, and it will be Quinn Ewers, the rookie. And even though I think the Dolphins defense, minus last week, has been playing a lot better, and Joe Burrow has not been playing very well at all, as of this moment, we're expecting a lot of rain in Miami for that game. So I do see a big H-Chan workload incoming, and I hope that's the case, because let's face it, I got him in my fantasy, and I'm in the semifinals right now, so I need a huge game from him. Still, I don't think it'll be enough. I think the Bengals, especially if Higgins comes back, they're going to score a lot of points. They're going to get the easy win. Okay, we have the Atlanta Falcons going into Arizona to play the Cardinals. The Falcons, as I said before, had a huge comeback win versus the Bucs, and let's face it, that's no easy thing to do versus a divisional opponent on the road. Kyle Pitts had easily his best game of his career, hands down. If you had him in fantasy football, you almost certainly won your week. And as much talent as Atlanta has, I don't think they've been a very good team this season. Kirk Cousins has been playing pretty well for a guy everyone thought was washed up, and probably is washed up, but still, he's playing fantastically. Versus most other teams, I'd probably give Atlanta a loss. However, they're playing the Cardinals, a team probably even worse than them. So give me the Falcons here to get 2nd win in a row. All right, the first of our afternoon games, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into Mile High to play the Broncos. Now, last week I guessed wrong. I really thought the Packers were going to get away with the win, and for a while it seemed like that was going to be the case. However, this Broncos team just turns it to a whole new level in the 4th quarter and was able to get the win. Yes, I'm sure Micah Parsons being out for the rest of that game definitely helped. Still, a win is a win. Now, looking here, it says 85% of people are picking the Broncos over the Jags. I think that's absolutely insane. Let's face it, this Broncos team has won most of their games by 1 score or less. The Jaguars are absolutely on a run right now. Trevor Lawrence easily played his best game as a pro, scoring 5 touchdown passes on top of 1 rushing touchdown. And if you had him in fantasy, then you absolutely won your week. And if you didn't, well, then that means the rest of your team was just absolute dog trash. I'm going to take a risk again this week. I think Jacksonville actually gets the win versus Denver, ending their long win streak and possibly ruining their chances for the #1 seed. We'll see. There's still a few weeks left. Still, give me Jacksonville in this one. All right, Steelers versus Lions. Now, the Lions had a heartbreaking loss to the Rams last week, while the Steelers had a huge win versus the Dolphins. And even though I thought the Dolphins might actually get their first win in cold weather, I'm not shocked that the Steelers won either. I will be shocked, however, if they're able to go into Detroit and beat the Lions. I'm going to pick the Lions. And if the Lions don't win, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. Last of our 4 p.m. afternoon games, we have the Las Vegas Raiders going into Houston to play the Texans. The Texans are easily the team that's just becoming hotter and hotter and hotter and better and better and better every week. Their defense has been absolutely outstanding all season long, but now their offense is starting to pick it up, and they're going to be very, very dangerous come playoff time. Meanwhile, the Raiders just got absolutely blown out and didn't even score a single point versus the Eagles. In fact, as I said before, they weren't even able to get 100 total yards, which is pretty mind-blowing if you ask me. Everyone's saying they're trying to actively lose to get that #1 overall pick. But if you ask me, I think that's just an excuse people are making to justify the Eagles' win. You're an NFL team, you're an NFL player, you don't purposely lose. And if you are, then who the hell wants you on your team anyways? I mean, you're going to get a top 3 pick anyways. You could just trade up a couple of spots. Let's face it. No team or player should try to lose.
You play to win the game.
But if they're trying to lose, trying to win, it doesn't matter. I think this Texans team is going to absolutely demolish the Raiders at home. All right, Sunday Night Football, the New England Patriots versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we have the better team on paper in the Baltimore Ravens, but we have the better team in real life in the New England Patriots. I think with this Patriots team mostly being very young, there's going to be a hell of a lot of pressure for them to get the win. Meanwhile, Baltimore is fighting for their lives to get that division win because let's face it, they're not going to get a wild card, not this year. I think that pressure will get to New England. I think with the experience Baltimore has and the fact that their defense has been getting better all season long, Lamar is definitely not playing at an MVP level, but I don't think it'll matter for this game. Give me Baltimore. Last up, we got Monday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Indianapolis Colts. The 49ers able to get another win despite their injuries this season. They just keep rolling off wins. They're currently 10-4. Technically still have a chance for that #1 seed. I just don't think they're going to get it. I think that it belongs to the Rams or Seahawks. The Colts, absolute free fall this season. They started 7-1. Now they're probably not even going to make the playoffs. In fact, they were plummeting so hard, they called Phillip Rivers, who haven't played the game in 5 years. Now, don't get me wrong. Considering, it's Phillip Rivers and he hasn't played in 5 years, he definitely gave the Colts a chance to beat the Seahawks last week, just wasn't able to quite do it. A lot of the times you can definitely see the rust and the age on him last week, kind of just stumbling around. Purdy had his best game of the season last week. I think he's going to build on that momentum. Give me the 49ers to win. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Those are my Week 16 game picks. Please don't forget to let me know what you think of my picks. Don't forget to let me know what your picks are. I'll see you guys Thursday night for the Seahawks-Rams game. There's no way I'm not live streaming that one. It might be the biggest game of the season by far. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you so much for joining in. As always, do not forget to click that subscribe button. Until then, join me for the Seahawks-Rams game, and that's going to be a hell of a game. I promise I'll stay for the entire thing, especially considering I think it's going to be a close game. Anyways, that's enough of that. I got to go do some shit. Have a good afternoon or night or morning whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you very soon.